ages 6 to 12, the view you have of yourself is influenced greatly by the quality of your school experiences, by contact with your family, your peer groups, and with your teachers, and by your cultural content. To a large extent, your self-concept is formed by what others tell you about yourself, especially during the formative years of childhood. Whether you develop a positive or negative outlook on yourself has a good deal to do with what close people to you have expected. As I grew up, I was picked on a lot by girls and boys in elementary school because I was really small growing up, and it really made me feel inadequate. But with my parents' encouraging words, especially my dad's, I was able to turn my feelings of inadequacy into a fairly high self-esteem just because of those small encouraging words. And knowing how I felt in those times is what makes me want to be able to help people. Self-concept refers to your awareness about yourself. It's a picture of yourself that includes your perceptions about the kind of person you are, your view of your worth, value, and possibilities, the way you see yourself in relation to others, and the way you ideally would like to be, and the degree to which you accept yourself as you are.
Here are some tips for you to develop a healthy concept. Surround yourself with good influence and people who support you. Look in the mirror every day and say something good about yourself. Know that you did the best that you could. Be comfortable about yourself around others and don't be afraid to give your opinion. Set short-term and realistic goals. And the last thing, if you're looking for something fun to do, YouTube wear sunscreen.
The mechanism of repression is one of the most important processes in psychoanalytic theory, and it is the basis of many other ego defenses. So basically, it's kind of like locking your feelings away. And here's an example.
All right.
Did you hear about Mr. Anderson? He got fired for touching people inappropriately.
What?
Yeah, do you remember it?
You remember me now.
Denial. Denial plays a defensive role similar to that of repression, but it generally operates as a preconscious or conscious level. In denial, there is conscious effort to suppress unpleasant reality, which is basically not believing that you have a problem or are having a problem. An example of this.
Okay, you are doing good in class and you are not doing very good. You're about ready to fail.
But I don't believe so.
You should maybe get some help from him and try to get your grades up.
I don't think I'd fail.
Okay. Displacement. Displacement involves redirecting emotional impulses from the real object to a substitute person or object. In essence, here's an example.
Hey girls, how was your day at school today?
It was good. My teacher told me that I got the best grade in my math class on my test.
You always do good in school. Why does she always do good in school and I don't?
Are you studying?
Yes.
Another mechanism of self-deception is projection, which consists of attributing to others our own unacceptable desires and impulses. And it's kind of like blaming someone else. Here's an example.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. I hate our teacher. She's so difficult. These problems don't even make any sense.
Do you need some help?
No.
Could you just be quiet? I'm trying to study.
Well, I don't understand this. I don't know why the teacher has to be so difficult. She's making me fail my class.
Reaction formation. One defense against a threatening impulse is to actively express the opposite impulse. So basically, it's forming a reaction according to what others want you to feel. An example of this.
Okay, so I was talking to my boyfriend last night, and we were talking, about, sexual stuff, and he wanted to try this new thing, and it's called, have you ever tried it before?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I knew you were cool.
Yeah.
Rationalization. Rationalization involves manufacturing a false, good excuse to justify acceptable behavior and explain away failures or losses. Such excuses help restore a bruised ego. In short, an example description of this is making excuses for your own decisions. Here's an example.
Why did you two lock your little brother in the closet?
We wanted to get our homework done and clean the house, and he was just pestering us and in our way all the time.
We just wanted to help you. Put him up there. We figured he'd be safer than running around the house.
Especially since we weren't really even watching him.
Another defense reaction is compensation, which consists of masking perceived weaknesses or developing certain positive traits to make up for limitations. It's kind of like making up for a flaw by overdoing some things. And here's an example of that.
New truck.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Ford F-350 turbo diesel, 12-inch lift kit with 35-inch mud tires.
She just wants something because she's so short.
Regression. Faced with stress, some people revert to a form of immature behavior that they have outgrown. Basically, it's going back to childhood behaviors. Here's an example.
Yeah, I just checked your grades and you're just doing absolutely terrible in this class.
No, I'm not.
Fantasy. Fantasy involves gratifying frustrated desires by imaginary achievements. When an achievement in the real world seems remote, some people resort to screening out unpleasant aspects of reality and living in their world of dreams.
Something that you can do on your own with whoever you're with right now is to take a few minutes and think of some questions to ask each other about your childhood. And hopefully these questions will spark up some conversation and just it'll allow you to come up with those memories and just remember things that you did. It's just a really good way to get to know yourself better.
What are you cutting out there?
A pirate flag. It's gonna be a pirate.
You wanted to be a pirate?
Yep, wanted to be